what I'm doing today is going to be just a webinar about Forex 101. I've been having people hit me up wanting to join. Sorry about that. I've had people hit me up wanting to know about Forex, and people thinking it's a scam, people thinking it's this, people thinking it's that. And so I wanted to create this just so I can go ahead and just get rid of all those bad ideas, those assumptions and things like that. I mean, all that negativity out of the way. I'm here to provide you guys accurate information. I'm not here to sell anybody anything with this at all. I can care less if you want to go forward with Forex, if you don't think it's right for you, or if you love it. I'm not here to make money off you guys or anything like that, so don't worry about any of that. I'm just here to provide you guys with accurate information. So just a little bit about myself. My name's Kai. For most of you guys know me from my Instagram or my Telegram group, which is also free if you want to join that. Just give me a DM. My Instagram is Kai's the Guy. That's KYS the Guy. And I mainly use that, so you can always get in contact with me on there. I don't really use any other social media. But yeah, so for me, just a little bit about my trading history. I've been trading for about a year and 2 months now, maybe. I've been doing researching, studying Forex for about a year and a half now. I had my ups and downs. I recently got a course from his Instagram is raw_GTR on Instagram. He works very closely with Q Banks as well as Ryan. His Instagram is My Life Real Quick. Those three are some really amazing traders. I hope to be able to start a course one day. Hopefully next year, if by God's will, I'm able to do that. But yeah, so I like helping people. And when I started off, nobody really had this information for me. And so I really wanted to make this information. Now, this information now I'm going over with you guys today. This has nothing to do with how to trade, strategies, anything like that. This is literally the basic steps, telling you what Forex is, why you should be interested, things like that. I haven't met anybody or even done YouTube videos or anything like that who talked about this at all. So that's really why I decided to end up doing this. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in, and yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So before we begin, welcome to Forex 101, guys. Yeah. All right, I'm super excited. You guys have no idea. I am super excited. Now, just some rules here. Well, really just one. We save all your questions for the end because the very last slide will be a question and answer slide, and you'll be able to ask me your questions through the chat. I'll probably even unmute you guys and do it as well. This is being recorded, so I'll probably end up posting this up on YouTube for everybody else to see because this is free information, and I didn't have this information. Hopefully this will help everybody else with trying to figure out what Forex is, how you can do it, and things like that, because Lord knows I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what to look for, and mentors or brokers, any of that type of stuff. I had no idea what to do with that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully this works. Hopefully I didn't mess up anything. Again, it's my first time using Zoom and hosting a webinar. So yeah, let's see if it works. Oh, look at that already. All right. What is Forex? Yes, and I have some nice little animations. I like the animation a lot. Probably my favorite one out of the whole slide. All right. So, what is Forex? Forex is short for foreign, which is the FOR, and exchange, which is the EX. All right. Now, I do have a bunch of definitions. The same one. All right. Cool. I do have definitions in here, and the majority of these definitions are from Investopedia. You can go in there. They have a lot of information for investing. They have some free content for courses and stuff like that too. But I pulled all the definitions from there. And yeah, we'll just be going through this. There's probably some typos in it because I am not good with English and stuff like that. I failed and whatnot. I dropped out of college and stuff. It was not for me. Don't get me wrong, I'm a smart dude and everything. Top 10% of my high school class and everything. But yeah, school just wasn't for me. We'll get into that later on. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my phone here because I do have some notes that I have. And yeah, so again, Let's see. All right, went over that. Cool. All right. So, foreign exchange, as defined by Investopedia, is the market in which currencies are traded. All right. Now, this is the largest market in the world, as well as the most liquid market. In other words, this market moves a lot, guys. All right. And this is also open 24 hours a day. This opens on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so it opened an hour ago, and it closes for the week on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? Now, during that whole time it's open, you can literally be trading and making money. Like, there's plenty of nights where, like, I just won't sleep and I'll just trade because I'm bored. Like, I'm low-key a night owl. I think that's what it is. Yeah, night owl. And I love being up at night. I trade pairs that are in nighttime and things like that move more. Let's see here. Now, as well, if you go on YouTube or Google and search Forex, you'll see that everyone says it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Now, basically, that just means that there's a lot of fucking money to be made here. This is probably like one of the only industries where no matter how many people are doing this, everybody can make money. You don't have that like a job or real estate or something like that because, like, you know what I mean? There's like buyers, and once you reach their capacity, you're done. With Forex, you don't have that, okay? But yeah. So now this is the industry that banks trade all of your hard-earned money that's sitting in your savings account. That's how you guys earn that interest. Now, I did break it down here. Let me see. My phone keeps locking. It's annoying because I have notes on here. All right, so I did a little example here. I'm not the best at math, so forgive my math a little bit off. But let's say you take $1,000 and you have it in your savings account, okay? Banks will literally take your money and they'll put it into the Forex market and they will trade your money to make more money. So they can actually turn your $1,000 into $5,000, all right? And if they turn it into $5,000, every $1,000 is 100% gain. So they turn your $1,000 into $5,000, so that's 500%, all right? Now they can even turn that $1,000 into $10,000, which is 1,000%. Or, this is going completely off the wall, but they can turn that $1,000 into $100,000, and that becomes a $10,000, 10,000% increase from that $1,000 that you put in. Now, the crazy part is that they do all that, but then they only give us, because I have a savings account too, between 0.01% to 1.90%. 1.90, I believe, is like the highest interest rate you can get, and that's with Goldman Sachs, who's an investment bank, and I have them as my savings because that's the highest you can get. Now, don't get me wrong. If you guys, hang on. Oh, Jesus. Almost died there. All right, so don't get me wrong. If you guys aren't interested in risking and trying to make a lot of money, you can definitely go the route of just putting money into a savings account and compounding on it and building on interest and things like that. And if you do that, I do definitely recommend going to Goldman Sachs because they don't have a minimum requirement. They don't have any fees or anything like that. They give you interest, and they have the highest interest rate out of all the banks. That's including Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo. They're the highest rated one. So if you want to go that route, you're more than welcome to do that. All right. Let's go to the next page. Let's see here. Now, a lot of people came in my DMs when I started talking about Forex and stuff saying, oh, it's a scam, oh, this and that. It can't be a scam if Forex is regulated by the federal government, all right? You literally have to pay taxes based off of your wins and losses. So this isn't a scam. Banks trade it. People I know trade it. People on Instagram trade it. A lot of people trade it. And you have professional traders and you have retail traders. I'm a retail trader. I'm not professional. I don't work for a bank. So just keep that in mind. Like, this isn't a scam. I'm not here to scam anyone. I hate people on Instagram who do scam people because that's the wackest thing ever. Because I know people that just want to learn. I just want to teach. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, charging to teach is perfectly fine. But I'm saying give them content that'll actually help. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's really what I'm just going to talk about now. I'm not going too much of a tangent with that because I can talk about how mad I am about people like lying and stuff like that for days. But again, oh my gosh, my voice is killing me. But again, this is the reason why I started this, because at the end of the day, I want to have my own mentoring program, my own school for trading, maybe even a hedge fund one day. But this is like really my groundwork right here. Just starting off, everything free, what I talk about and whatnot, until we get up to where I need to be. That way I can like fully go in and full time get my attention to my students. But yeah, so let's see here. Now, moving on to the next section, why Forex? And as well, this shouldn't be too long, this whole webinar, guys, because this is super simple information. I'm expecting probably like an hour max, unless there's like a lot of questions for me to answer afterwards. But, you know, a lot of people come and tell me or ask me, why should I trade Forex? You know what I mean? It sounds too easy or things like that. For me, there's a couple reasons why you should trade Forex, all right? The first one, this is probably the most important one to me, is financial freedom. Everybody is looking for financial freedom. I don't care what you say. It's true, money does not make you happy, but it sure does make you feel a hell of a lot better than being stuck at home and not being able to do shit. You know what I mean? I'd much rather be able to have money in my bank account to be able to go travel, have fun, party, whatever the case is, buy a new car, whatever the case is. Plus, you don't have to worry about working a 9 to 5. You can trade right from your house. You can trade right from the pool, from the beach, anywhere. You can clear your debt, things like that. Like, it's super amazing what you can do. I mean, you can also use Forex to get a nice house and stuff like that when you develop this skill. You can either get to buy nice cars. Like my mentor, Raw_GTR on Instagram, he's 19, owns a Lamborghini and a GTR from trading. You feel me? So it's definitely possible. You have Q Banks on Instagram. He owns a Porsche and a Beamer, and I believe he owns a Range Rover. I don't know if he sold that, but I know he used to own that. And then you have, you can go and travel, family vacations. I'm a big family guy to me, so it's super important for me. Super important that we're able to do that, But, yeah, so like I stated, man, my throat keeps, like, getting, like, really rough. I'm drinking, like, this whole bottle of water. Oh, man. Now, so Forex has the potential to provide you freedom, like I stated, man. It's so much better. I used to work a 9 to 5, and I hated it every single day going into work. I worked an hour away. So I was using 2 hours of my day alone just driving to work and from work in total. And then being there, so I was spending 10 hours of my day doing something I didn't like. And don't get me wrong, when I was working, like I was a supervisor, I was a trainer, things like that. And it was cool, but it wasn't what I wanted to do because I'd much rather be traveling the world, experiencing life, doing things, and not being stuck at a 9 to 5 dead-end job, essentially. Now, one thing I do want to say, Forex is not at all easy. I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay? Me starting off, I lost about $2,000 so far from when I started off. And that's been a year and 2 months. So it's definitely not easy. You will have your winning streaks, you'll have your losing streaks, but it's all about turning it into consistency. Again, I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's super frustrating at times. But the thing is, a really good thing about Forex is that the way that how much you work, that's how much you're going to receive back and then some, okay? So, for example, I need to open up another bottle of water because my throat is killing me. Hang on. All right. So, like for example, when it was like 2 months ago, I put in about 45 hours of chart work in a week. Like nowadays I live on charts. Like wherever I'm at, like I have my phone on me, I'm on charts, whatever. But I spent about 45 hours in total, like trading. And out of that, I made about like 500% of my account. So yeah, it was super worth it. And with that, you can't get that from like working at a job or things like that. So also understand, like, this isn't an overnight success. It's not a get rich scheme, anything like that. This is really, you have to put the work in, and then you'll be able to benefit from it at the end, whether that's a year from now, 2 months from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. It's all about putting that work in and being determined. There's been plenty of days where I felt like Forex wasn't meant for me. You know what I mean? Like, there's like, this is not an easy market to live in, and I know nobody wants to hear that. But like, I know nobody wants to hear that, but I'm here to tell you guys the honest truth. Like, this shit hard. Don't get me wrong. You have some people who are like super lucky and they're like, yo, this shit's easy as hell. I got it. Bam. But trust me, the markets are going to slap you up and be like, you thought this shit was easy. This shit's hard as hell. But that's only until you get past that learning curve and you start developing your skill and really understanding trading and whatnot. Now, let me see. But once you do develop that skill, this can definitely change your life, because there's people that I know that there's people that I know that trade tens of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars and stuff like that. Like, there's you're able to do it. You just have to develop that skill. And I don't want anybody jumping in head first thinking, oh, we're just going to start trading, throw all our money in there, because you're going to be a dumbass. You're going to lose all your money. So don't do that. And I know there's probably going to be people telling you, yo, do it, throw all your money in, da-da-da-da. Nah, learn this first, and you'll be able to get where you want to go in the long run. You just got to take a couple steps back, analyze everything, and you'll be able to get there. Now, this moves us into understanding risk. Again, with YouTube videos and stuff like that talk about this. Okay, I don't know why that showed up, but okay. So, okay, cool. We got unlimited minutes. It's lit. But, so, when it comes to, these YouTube videos and stuff that talk about trading, I haven't really seen any of them go into risk. Not risk management or anything like that for those of you who already trade, but just talking about risk in general. So, that's why I kind of put this in here. Basically, this whole presentation is going to be about what's not on YouTube, and even includes stuff that's on YouTube. It's basically everything all in one for you guys, so you shouldn't have to look anywhere else, or at least feel confident enough to leave, understand what Forex is, and if you want to go ahead and move forward with it. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go into understanding risk. I don't know what the hell this is on my screen, so I don't know how the hell it got there, so we're just going to ignore it. But yeah. So I think that's probably from somebody on here, but it's cool. Now, when it comes to risk, I want you guys to understand that whatever it is that you do in life, that's going to involve risk in some way. Now, remember how I told you guys I dropped out of college and whatnot. Here's why. So, going to college, it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling anybody don't go to college. But essentially, you go to college, you pay around $100,000 and spend 4 years of your life. After those 4 years and you graduate, you hope, you're not guaranteed, you hope to land a job that's going to start off at an entry-level position, paying around half of the amount that you spent for college for your first couple of years. So you're, one, going to be in debt, and two, you are just hoping to get a job. I know people who were valedictorians and whatnot out of my high school and graduated last year and still don't have a job, bro. Still don't have a job. That's crazy for me. That was one of the reasons why I dropped out of school. Now, I honestly feel as though you should only go to college if you want to be a doctor, something in the medical field, a lawyer, scientist, engineer, something that requires actual school. But if you're just trying to be a businessman, own your own business, stuff like that, you can go to college, sure, but it's not necessary. It's not. I see a lot of people get finessed in college, and they're in debt, buttload of debt, and it's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be that way. But this is stuff people don't really talk about. Now, also, when it comes to this, you have to understand, when you get that job, you have no real chance of being promoted to anything past the supervisor. Let's be honest here, all right? You have really no chance of a salary increase once you get up to that supervisor area. That's pretty much the most you're going to make. You're going to cap out. And then another thing is that you're spending more time at your job than with the people or the things that you're actually working for. That's the crazy part about it. People will be gladly enough to go ahead, buy that brand new Mercedes, that brand new Maserati, Lamborghini, whatever the case is, and a nice ass house, but they're always at work and not being able to spend time at that nice crib they bought, that nice car they just got, and things like that, because they're busy working, trying to pay for that car that they can't use, or that house they don't see, because you spend majority of your day at work. You know what I mean? So that's another reason, like, to understand, like, it's okay to put some time into doing Forex. Because for me personally, I'd much rather be in this position where I have an opportunity to go ahead and do something that I love while being at the place or being in the thing that I'm paying for with the people that I'm working for. You know what I'm saying? Like your family and things like that. At a regular job, you can't do that. Now, another risk that people will be taking besides Forex is starting a business. With this, you have to take a loan or use saved money, and you have to hope to survive the first 2 years before you start profiting. Yeah, so this is just really, I'm sorry, I was reading the chat and it got me off. But yeah, so this is really just basically business 101. Like, as you guys know, you have to find the product that the consumer wants to have, and then you have to get it to them. But it takes about the first year to 2 years before majority of small businesses, startups, become profitable or at least break even from their first initial investment. Plus you have like overcaps and things like that, overhead and stuff like that, for like business costs, bills, rent, things like that for the space that you're doing. Another risk that people rather take over Forex is getting into real estate. When you go into real estate, again, you're required to take out a loan, or you can use your savings. But you have to be able to sell that house for a profit, because if you do it for break even, you just waste the time. And then you also have to consistently be able to find buyers. And that's going to be like the hardest thing with the house market, because there's a lot of people that want to buy a house, but they're not able to because of their credit. They don't have enough money or things like that. Same thing with the car situation. When I was younger, I wanted to buy a car. Couldn't. Credit was messed up. They didn't have enough money, things like that. So those like really come into play, and those are all risk factors that you have to do. Now, by no means am I saying that doing any of those is not a good idea. There are all ways to make money. But all of these require a large amount of risk compared to learning a new skill like Forex, all right? Now, when you just learn a skill with Forex, all you're going to be doing essentially is just reading material and looking at charts and understanding what the movement is and whatnot. Excuse me. So that's really what it is until you're ready to invest some money into it. Then while all that time you were studying, you'll be saving up, and then you can put into it, and then you'll be good to go. But again, you'll have like a mentor or something like that to help you along the way. Now, this right here that's on the screen, this is a risk disclaimer for Forex. This is what you're going to see everywhere for any mentor or any like person who talks about Forex, even me. That's why I have it in here, smart boy. But basically, I'm just going to read it to you guys. This will be recorded, so you can skip over me reading if you want, but whatever. So it just states, trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before deciding to trade foreign exchange, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss in excess of your initial investment, which basically means you can lose more than what you've put in. You should be aware of all the risks associated with foreign exchange trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts, which is not me, as somebody who works at a bank or has their license and whatnot. Any opinions, news, research, analysis, prices, or other information contained on this website is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. You'll next to see the company name. Will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information. The content on this channel is subject to change at any time without notice and is provided for the sole purpose of assisting traders to make independent investment decisions. Company Kai has taken reasonable measures to ensure the accuracy of the information on the website. However, it does not guarantee accuracy and will not accept liability for any loss or damage which may arise directly or indirectly from the content or from your inability to access the website, or for any delay in or failure of the transmission or the receipt of any instruction or notification sent through this website. So basically, that's just them covering themselves, saying that, hey, I'm not a licensed professional for investment. If you want that, go ahead, talk to your bank. But I got some ideas. You can listen to them. If you want to if you want to make that trade, then do your analysis first. Look over it. If you're feeling that, then go ahead and get into it. All right. So next is going to be finding the broker, or finding the right broker. And we're almost done, actually. I think we only have like 2 more sections after this. So yeah, we're getting through this pretty fast. Let me see here. So a few things you should know about brokers. Now, I forgot to put this on the actual slide, but a broker is where you input all your money. And when you put it into the money, that's what allows you to trade. All right. They're the ones that hold your money and actually place the trades like in the trading system. That way you can watch them and do all that stuff. Now, so here's a few things you should know about brokers. When you see ask price, that's the price a seller is willing to accept. When you see bid price, that's the price a buyer is willing to pay. Spreads, the difference between the bid and the ask price. Swap, the exchange of cash flows between 2 parties that allows each party to diversify its income while still holding its original assets. Basically, if you get into more than one trade, you're going to have to pay the broker some money, or the brokerage some money. Let's see here. Charges, that's paid by the investor, which is you, to the seller, which is the brokerage. For services rendered, the charge is deducted from the amount being invested. Leverage, okay. Trading, so leverage. This simply refers to the ability to increase the size of your trade or investment by using credit from a broker. When trading using leverage, you are effectively borrowing from your broker while the funds in your account act as collateral. So in other words, this is just saying that this is what allows you to be able to put a small amount into Forex and trade it to make more money. So basically, like if you put like $100 in, you're able to trade that like it's $1,000 or $10,000 based on your leverage. And you're able to make a whole lot more money, but you're also able to lose a whole lot more money as well. Now, the leverage in the United States maximum is actually 50 to 1, 1 to 50, however you want to say it. And the maximum leverage available is actually 1,000 to 1 or 1 to 1,000. Again, however you want to say it. It's like, what is it, tomato, potato? Yeah, there you go. Potato, potato, same thing. But now the reason why the United States leverage is so much lower than like the rest of the world, it's actually because back in the days, people were trading and they didn't know how to trade. And they were actually blowing up their accounts and losing a whole lot more than what they were putting in. People were getting pissed off about it. So the government had to step in and had to regulate this business, which they haven't done with cryptos yet, if anybody knows about cryptos. But they're going to end up regulating crypto soon anyway, if it stays around long enough. But yeah, so they regulated. So if you go to a broker that's in the United States, the max you can do is 50 to 1 or 1 to 50. That's going to be the max that you can actually go. But if you go to a broker that's outside the United States, max you can go is 1,000 to 1, 1 to 1,000. I keep saying it either way because it's either way, however you want to use it. But yeah, let me see, make sure I didn't step over anything. Okay. Yeah, and they were just killing their accounts because they didn't have proper risk management. Like I said, they didn't know what they were doing. So that's the reason why in the United States that whole leverage is super low. I don't use 1 to 50, 50 to 1. I use 1 to 1,000. But it's because I have the proper risk management skills now to allow myself to do that and make proper trading choices. Now, trading platform. This is where you can view charts, execute trades, edit trades, and close trades. For example, you have MetaTrader 4 or you have TradingView. Those are going to be, like, if anybody follows me, you see I post charts up whenever I'm in a trade. That's where you're actually able to view the trade and actually press the little button. Here, I don't know if I can even. Basically this. All right. And then, let me see. There you go. I'm actually in a trade right now for XRP. Currently in the blue. Gang is lit. But anyway, let's see here. Pips. Now, this is an acronym for percentage in point. A pip is the smallest price move that a given exchange rate makes based on market convention. Now, you always hear people say, like, catch pips, not feelings, or I'm catching pips, or like, for example, my, whatchamacallit is, my Telegram group is, who's catching pips, you know what I mean? Because pips is what you want to look at. You don't care about the money aspect, you care about the pip aspect. So you always want to catch those pips, make sure you're in the blue at all times, which means you're in profit. And yeah, you just want to go ahead and catch those pips. Now, if you guys want a suggestion for a broker, the broker I always recommend to everybody is called LMFX, as you see on the PowerPoint in front of you guys. I'm pointing up because, like, I have 2 screens. But reason why I do this one is because it's an online brokerage, but it's actually based out of the UK, I believe. And I usually recommend them for a couple of reasons. They have a very good competitive spread. So their spreads are very low, and you want to make sure your spreads are always low because that means they're taking money from you. Because, like I said, the spreads, spreads, commissions, things like that, that's everything they take from swap and stuff. That's what you're paying to them. So you want to make sure all that's just cut down and not that much. They also have really good, effective customer service. I've had some issues like trying to get things to work, and I would just give them a call. And even though they're in the UK, they have a US line. Subway doesn't charge international or anything like that. And they're more than welcome to help you and stuff. And they're, like, really good with getting that stuff situated. And also they work with U.S. clients. Not a lot of brokers overseas work with U.S. clients. And then you're not able to get that 1,000 to 1 leverage if once you're in skill capacity to be able to handle that. Now, the last thing I'm going to touch on with brokers, I actually didn't write this down, but I have it on my notes here. When you go and you decide to go to find the right broker, they are going to ask you some information, and you might think it's a little suspect because I thought it was suspect at first, but it's not. They're going to be asking you for some information to identify, like, your identity. So, like, they're going to ask you for, like, 2 forms of ID. It's basically going to be, like, you send in a picture for your driver's license and, like, a bank statement or something like that shows your resident address. That way they can match it up with your driver's license. But, like, with the bank statement, you're able to, like, block out all, like, your account information and stuff like that. You just need to see, like, your name and address and the bank name, and you're set. And then they're going to be asking for a picture of, like, your credit or debit card that you're going to be using to have them for when you're ready to put the money into your trading account. With that, they're going to ask for a picture. You block out all the numbers besides the last 4. And they may ask you to, like, take a picture of you holding it like this, or they'll just ask for a picture of it, and you can just send it in, and they'll be able to get that verified for you. And again, that information right there, nobody's told you on, like, all the videos I've seen, nobody went over that. It's super simple to go over. Don't know why people don't. But, yeah. So, moving on to, like, the second to last section here. We're almost done, guys. This is going to be finding a mentor. With this, again, nobody really talks about finding a mentor in these videos, so that's why I'm doing it today. So should you find a mentor? That's, like, the biggest question here for everybody. Because most people don't think they should find a mentor or things like that. They just, I'm going to just go ahead, do it on my own, be self-made, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about that, all right? You should want to invest in your education when it comes into Forex, because this will save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Like I stated, I lost over $2,000. And that was from me doing it on my own, thinking, oh, I got this. It's cool. This is going to be a breeze. Shit was not a breeze for me. It was super difficult, and it's still going to be difficult even when you're trading and you have the skill set. So don't be afraid to reach out to a mentor that you see on Instagram or somewhere, and see what they're talking about and see what they're doing. Now, what should you really look for when it comes to finding a mentor? I know a lot of people don't really talk about that. You know what I mean? They say, yo, go ahead, find a mentor. You know what I mean? I'll mentor you, some shit like that. So here's a couple things you should look for. Look for the amount of pips that the mentor makes. Don't look at how much money they've made. Look at the pips, okay? I say that because you can have somebody who's making $100,000, well, not even $10,000, but the pips are only 10 pips, so they're not really catching any moves. You know what I mean? They're just in and out, and that's not the best for everybody. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I would hate to be with somebody who's like that. Like it's cool for them because they have the skill set, they have the money to put into it to make that much money off of one single trade, and they'll brag and be like, "Oh, I just made $15,000 in 5 minutes." Da 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 da. But they only caught like 5, 10, maybe 20 pips. You know, you want to be able to find somebody who's going to be consistently catching pips, anywhere between 20 to 50 or up in pips, because that way you'll be able to, if you join them, they'll provide you with signals to let you know when to trade, and you'll be able to make some decent money off of a small account while you're learning how to trade on the side and studying their content and whatnot. Another thing you should look for is if that mentor is using a live account or a demo account. A demo account is basically a practice account. It's not using real money. It's just for you to use and learn how to trade. And I recommend for anybody starting off, use a demo account. Don't invest your real money until you start understanding how to work the markets and things like that. You want to make sure that they are using a live account, because the psychology behind it is totally different. And I'll probably do a whole other webinar on psychology alone, because that's a whole lot. I love psychology. I was supposed to go to college to be a psychologist, believe it or not. So yeah, I love talking about that stuff. But yeah, it's a whole different psychology, and then you could actually see, okay, they really make money, they really know what they're doing, they know how to hold the trade and things like that. Another thing is make sure you see the lifestyle that they have, you know, because there's some people who, with bad groups, I'm not gonna name any names, but they'll steal from other traders and act like it's them, or they'll finesse and go to the dealership, take a picture inside a car and be like, yo, I just got this Porsche today, da 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 da. Meanwhile, they right at home doing nothing, or ain't making no money. So you want to be sure to watch out for that. There are a couple of good traders out there. Like I keep recommending the 3, but I have like 5 to recommend. I'm not going to say it on here, but if you guys want to reach out to me after this, feel free to send me a DM or something, and I'll be able to point you over to them. And then when I start offering a course and stuff like that, if you want to work with me, I'll be able to help you guys out with that as well. Another thing you want to look into is, do they offer signals? What about one-on-ones or updated content? When it comes to signals, like I stated, that's going to be like when they're telling you to get in and get out of a trade and how to manage a trade. When it comes to one-on-ones, I think they're super important, but a lot of people don't offer them. And that's something that I really don't like. But it's completely understandable, because they'll have like 200 people in their group and everybody wants a one-on-one. They're never going to have any time to themselves, you know? But so I completely understand it, but you should look for somebody who's offering one-on-ones, or at least build a relationship with that mentor that you're interested in, to get that opportunity to have a one-on-one, because I personally feel like that would be something that could take your trading to like the next level and put you on some other shit. But then also you want to make sure that they do like update their content regularly, because if they don't, then their content could be outdated, and the markets change. It's patterns and things like that happen all the time, but things do change, and you want to be able to get like updated content to see how they think now, see if they're using anything different, and just to stay on top until you're on your game where you don't need a mentoring. And lastly, when it comes to this, it's really going to be down to, is there a monthly subscription or a one-time fee? Way back when I first started, I went with like 3 different groups and a mentor, and I had one really good mentor. He was pretty good. He had a monthly subscription of like $60. I'm gonna stay with him for about a year, so I spent like $600 maybe in the course of the year, and it was worth it to a point, but me and him didn't see eye to eye, so like it didn't really work. Now, if you have a one-time fee, you just pay $200, $300, $400, $500 one time, and then you have access to the course for the rest of your life. I would most likely recommend to do that, just because you have that option. And you have that access, and you know they're not trying to make money from that. Now, if they are just offering signals, it's not going to be a one-time fee. It's going to be a monthly, so just understand that. But if they are a mentor, they could possibly offer just a one-time fee for everything. Most of the people who offer a one-time fee are going to be the ones that do not offer signals or anything like that, okay? Moving on to the last section here, basic terminology. I'm just going to go over some very basic stuff with you guys so you have an understanding after you leave from the webinar today. Some things, if you see me posting with somebody else posting, you'll understand what they're talking about. I know a lot of people are like, yo, what the fuck are you talking about? It looks interesting, but I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So first one is PIP. We already talked about that. Again, that's just a percentage in point. That's what measures the market and how it moves, all right? Buy. This is basically another term for long or bullish. This means that the market is going up. Sell. This is another term for short or bearish. This means that the market is going down. Pair. This is the quotation of two different currencies with the value of one currency being quoted against the other. The first listed currency of a currency pair is called the base currency, and the second currency is called the quote currency. So with this is going to be talking about, like the example I used, if you see somebody selling or buying Euro USD, which is EUR USD, essentially what that's saying is that they are buying the euro and stating, since they're in a buy, they're stating that the US dollar is weaker than the euro, so they're expecting the market to go up. If they are selling this pair, that means that they're stating that the euro is weaker than the US dollar, so the market's going to go down. Now, that took me forever to understand because nobody would just tell it to me like that. If you guys don't understand that, when we have the Q&A section on the next section, you guys can go ahead and write it in the chat, or you can go ahead and just ask it on everybody at that time. But let's go ahead and go to the next one. Demo account, like I stated, this is a practice account. You don't use real money. Live account, this is the account where you deposit money and trade your real hard-earned money. Scalp. This is just a trading method that you enter and leave the market very quickly. Usually scalpers, they'll hold a trade for a few seconds to a few minutes, maybe an hour or two. Day trade, this is probably the most common you'll hear saying, oh, I'm a day trader or intraday trader, something like that. This is a trading method that you enter and exit trades throughout the day. You can hold from a few minutes to a few hours, but it never goes over like a day. Then you have a swing trader. This is actually how I started trading. This is a method where you enter and exit trades over a relatively long period of time. Usually you hold trades for a few hours, can be days, weeks, months, or maybe even years. But to be honest, once it passed like days, like once it starts going to like the 2-3 week mark, you're more of an investor at that point than a trader, because traders like are for kind of quick money essentially in the trading world, if we want to say that, okay? Let's see here. So let's go ahead and go on to next steps. So I know you guys are probably having a lot of questions right now. Like, oh, is it worth it? Like, what do I do next? Like, what's the next step? Or what should I do? Or why should I do it? Or will it work? You know what I mean? Like, these are all common questions to have. When it comes to like the whys and will it work, if you're doubting yourself, I would say go ahead and give it a try, because you never know. Like, this could be the one thing that changes your life, and I'm all about that opportunity to go ahead and get my life changed. Like, that never really. Oh man, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. That never really gave me a reason to stop myself. I'm a very motivated person. So I always want to go ahead and be the best at whatever I do. And I like challenge. I look forward to failure, because without failure, then you'll never find what works, you know? But of course, like I stated earlier, there's going to be risk in this. Nothing is easy, and it's not going to be an overnight success at all. Like, this is going to be something that you're going to have to work hard for. And once you work hard for it, like, you'll be like, okay, I'm liking this. And once you start trading and you get into it and you start understanding it, like, it becomes like addictive, because like you start getting the potential and things like that. So when it comes to the next steps, really what you should do, but I always recommend people who come in my DM and ask me about Forex and stuff like that before I was doing this. I would say go through the course at babypips.com. It's completely free, and they offer really good content about Forex, and they'll break it down of like how to trade and things like that. And then after that, go ahead and look for a mentor and find a broker that you're interested in. Once you do that, then I would say like then you'll be able to like get into the trading and groove of that. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, shit is super hard. It's gonna get boring at times, but you have to see the end of the road, and you have to envision your goal. You know, like something that I love is the fact that my mentor, like I told you guys, he owns a Lambo and a GTR just from trading. We were having a conversation when I first started messing with him, and he lives in Miami. I was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna come out to Miami with you. I want to move out there eventually, and we're gonna link up. And, you know, since you have the Lambo, your boys have like GTRs and Porsches and stuff, I'm gonna have to cop like a Ferrari or McLaren or something, just so, you know, keep it cool with you guys and keep the look of the group going, so we look all heat. You know, like when we pull up to a scene or something like that. I've never been able to have that conversation with anybody that I've known, and that conversation actually be attainable. That's the crazy part about it. Like, it's attainable, and I think that's the part that probably scares people away, is because some people aren't ready for change. And that's completely understandable. Me, I'm ready for change. I look forward to change. I move with emotions. But it's really just going to be about, you know, making sure that you handle what you need to handle, and making sure that you don't like just go up and quit your job and be like, I'm a full-time trader. I'm about to make this money today, because it's not going to happen. You're going to have to take your time, study, chart until you understand the movement. And then you'll be able to have your skill locked down and be able to handle what you're doing and make that money. After you're going to start catching pips, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better, because it feels so good. Like last week, I made my car note, which was around $400 in one fucking day. You feel me? Like, that shit's ridiculous. Like, that shit felt so good. And compared to me having to work a full week, maybe even 2 weeks to get that paycheck. You know what I mean? And that was probably the best part, like being able to see like, yo, like I just made this. Even like if you had like $100 days, that's basically what you make at a job now. You know what I mean? So it's still like, that's still basically working, but just at home. And, you know, I'm trading, I have my Xbox on playing the game, or I'm out at the park, a theme park or something, checking over my trades. Like, it feels good. And I always recommend people to do trading, and people who know me, that's all I talk about. So the last thing I'm gonna talk about just before we go into the Q&A, which I'll actually put it on the slide right now for the Q&A, is going to be, if you guys have any questions, so after this, after the Q&A section, reach out to me. But if you guys do live in like the Central Florida area, like I'm in Orlando, if you guys live out here, give me a DM. We can always link up. This Sunday, if anybody's in this area, I'll actually be linking up either Sunday or Saturday night this weekend. Probably like a hookah bar or something, and just to hang out, talk trades, things like that, go over charts, you know, and like try to build a group, build a family. But yeah, so you just have to understand that. Well, not understand that, but I was reading the chat, it got me off. I hate reading the chat when I'm talking, it always messes me up. But yeah, so if anybody really wants to like hang out and like, you know, talk trades and learn more, like please send me a DM. We can always link up. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and go into the Q&A section. I am going to unmute everybody, so if you're not going to say anything, please mute yourself. And yeah, we'll go ahead and go from there. So here we go. I hope people aren't going to be like tripping. But here we go. Go ahead and unmute everybody. All right, you guys are unmuted. Anybody have any questions or anything about anything? Comments, concerns?
I got you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
How you can lose more money than you when you put in? I never really understood that.
Because it's based off the leverage, bro. Like, you know, you have, if you trade and everything, you have stop losses and stuff like that to stop your channel when it gets to it. But it used to be where it was like, you know what I mean? Like they'll, because you know, I think you're the one that said it, that it'll kick you out if you hit zero. But in some cases, it's not like that. Like, because like, what if there's like a gap in the market or something, and you don't have a stop loss? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That shit will fuck you up. You don't have to worry about that. But if you're trading with a stop loss, you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? But I know people who like I've seen videos of people who lose $22,000 with no stop loss and killed their whole phone. But no questions, so I pretty much know everything. I mean, concerns, statements, compliments, hate, it's all good. It's all love at the end of the day. What is it? Critique, criticism? Juan, you say, what about the mentor? What do you mean? What about the mentor? That's a super broad statement, bro.
You're the best.
What was that?
I don't know why they typing that. So
yeah, Juan, you can talk. You're unmuted. I should be able to hear you.
Fuck my English so fucking bad. I don't know what to talk here.
Yeah, bro, I can hear you. What's up?
Oh man, it's like it's not good. Like
he says English not good.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and type in. You good? How many hours did I invest in Forex like since I started, or like on a weekly basis, or both?
Weekly.
You be doing weekend markups too, right, all the time?
Yeah, I do it. I haven't done it in like a minute. Actually, I have to do it today. I didn't do it for this week yet. I'm getting ready for this webinar. But on average, no cap. Like I do about 50 hours plus. No cap, because I have my laptop set up wherever I go in my house, and it just sits in front of me. I'm looking over charts, constantly scanning pairs to see about entries and setting up alerts and stuff like that, and just marking up to see how everything's moving, because that's the only way you'll get better.
Yeah.
I put a lot of chart time in. I don't play games when it comes to trading. I tell my family, leave me alone, don't talk to me. I'm trading. Like, do you trade full time? Not yet. I currently do a 9 to 5 work at home. Unfortunately, I'm looking to go full time December or January though. God's plan. As long as it works for God's plan, man. I'll be looking forward to go full time trading. That's what I really want to do. That's like my biggest goal right now. Could you coach? Yeah, I can. I don't have a problem with it. If you're not a part of the Telegram group, I'll definitely say go ahead and join that, because there's some really good traders in there as well. That's where I really talk to everybody. Other than that, you can always reach out to me directly. If you live in the Orlando area, you can reach out. We can hang out, link up. We can talk over it too. Go over more stuff.
I'd rather work 50 hours a week for myself than 8 hours for anybody else, though.
What was that?
I said I'd rather work 50 hours for myself than 8 hours for anybody else.
Exactly, and people don't understand it, which is the crazy part. People are like, nah, I'd rather just work on my job. I'm like, you're bugging.
Hell nah.
How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Oh, you my age. Yeah.
Bet. And I mean, like, I wish I would have found out about it when I was like in high school, because like my life would be.
Me too. Oh my god.
To be honest, I just did too. I just graduated high school.
Yeah, see, you lucky, because
stick to it, bro. Stick to it.
Yeah, literally. I just seen someone sitting behind me, open a computer, and like, what you doing? Is like, he's trading Forex. I'm like, what Forex is? They started to get into it, introduced me to Q, then Raul.
Yeah.
And shit.
Is that how you pronounce his name, Raul? I've been calling that nigga Raw.
I call him Raul.
If you see this, he about to flame my ass. But yeah, Juan, Ryan's red package. What's my opinion? I was a part of his Signal group. I love Ryan to death. He's a cool person. We're both light skinned, so I understand where he comes from.
You're both light skinned.
I understand it completely. But like when his red package, I know a couple people who have it, and they said it's really good content. So it's definitely a way to look into. I haven't had it, but I was in the Signal group, and his Signal group was straight. I just didn't like the amount of pips that he was risking, because he'll risk around like 100, 120 pips sometimes.
That's crazy.
That was I didn't like that, so I was like, nah, fam, we good. I tested him.
Dude, too crazy, man.
But at the same time, you can't argue with him because he pulls in like 400 to 700 pips a month. You know what I mean? And he's trading like standard lots of like 10. Like, so he's risking like $100,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? So he's okay with that. But I'm like, bro, I got like a $500 account. Like, we can't do this. Making no type of money with your stop loss, man. But no, but like there are people that like in his group who make money, and like they'll post their screenshots in like the group chats and stuff. And like it's because they stack their trades, and when he has that one right trade, it doesn't hit stop loss. Like they just make all the money like lost back and then some. So like they be pulling. But for me, it wasn't the move for me. That's why I kind of stepped away, and started my own thing, kind of like, you know. But I mean, as far as the red package though, I've heard really good things about it between him, Q, and Raul.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Raul's course.
Yeah, I took his course, Raul, and I like his course, but I think that's for more if you already were trading, you know what I mean? You just need like a little extra help.
Which one is that? Is it the one with the Lambo or the GTR?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one Lambo.
Yeah, Raul _ GTR. He's
Yeah, I
on
know.
the Lambo and the GTR and stuff. That dude's on like.
I have a question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like how many pips like you do every week? Like what's the requirement you do?
I range, bro, because I have my winning streaks, I have my losing streaks. I don't, for me personally, because the way I work is like if I have to focus on a certain amount of pips, that'll fuck me up in the long run, and it won't be able to like help me. And like I'll be like, oh my god, I have to hit like 100.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to be honest, I trade, but like I always like to get around 100 to 200 pips a week. Like, that's my goal. That's beautiful. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you're able to hit 20, 30 pips a day, like you're fine, because once you upgrade them lot sizes, you know what I mean? And you do like
that's a lot of fucking money.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You're making it on a daily. And Juan, he asked, are you going to pay the 5-day with Q Bank? I'm not personally, just because it's a lot of fucking money.
Hell yeah. 5 days. What?
I love Q. Like he's the GOAT when it comes to trading, no question about it. But for me, at the moment, I feel like I don't need it personally at the moment.
What about Raul's 5-day course?
Nah, because I'll just do like a one-on-one with him. I just have questions, you know what I mean? Because when I took his course, it cleared up a lot of things that I had issues with. It's making me profitable now. So I feel like I don't need it anymore. The in-person course. But I can always do a one-on-one and just ask him a couple questions.
That's a nice car to one by.
Yeah, that don't sound sexy as hell.
Hey yo, so what you be risking like 30? What you risking like 30 to 50 pips on your risk?
I used to risk about like max 70. Nowadays, I'm doing between 10 and 20 pips.
10 to 20 pip risk?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a great entry.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying for now. I've been doing it for the past like 2 weeks since I took his course, and I've been just killing it. I take probably like 3 or 4 losses out a whole week since I took the course. And that's baby because my take profits are between like 25 to 50 pips. I'm cool.
So I be drawing it. My take profits be far as hell.
Yeah, I hate doing drawbacks. I hate sending in drawback. So I had to start going in on like the lower time frames.
I mean,
like seeing like how to enter.
I mean, that's why I be using trail stops, so I don't really gotta worry about it too much.
I don't use trailing stops because if the market does some crazy shit, you get stopped out, and you can get stopped out. You know what I mean? A little too early, and then you're tied to stop because you're like, damn, I have all this to do.
Now, do you like if you in profit a lot? Do you like lock in like profit? Like, do you move your stop loss to your entry?
Yeah, So like for me, when it hits like 10 pips, like I'm automatic 10 to 15, I'm automatically moving to break even because I want to eliminate the risk as soon as possible. I don't want to risk my capital. But after that, it's like once it does like its first pullbacks, that way it can continue on the trend, or if it just shoots down. Like I'm trying to lock in like 20, 30 pips ASAP once it gets to that area.
All right.
When it comes to pairs, like, do you only trade one pair or like you just everywhere?
I trade a bunch.
It gotta be vice versa.
Yo, could you explain the time zones? That should be messing me up.
Bro, to be honest, I don't even care about the time zones.
Me either. Or do you pay attention to the news?
What happened?
Do you pay attention to the news?
The news, only one, like if you get like one of the trading apps to tell you about the news coming up and stuff like that, just look at the ones market as high. Look at those. Like for the main pairs, just look at those. Don't worry about like that. Just do the one that's like high impacts.
Yeah.
Filter it out for that, and you'll be fine. Like that's all I look for. Last week was nothing but high impact. It was like NFP and unemployment risk in every fucking country.
Oh yeah. That was a big one.
Like it was horrible. And like the first week of the month is always horrible. It's always that.
Yeah.
The first like week of the year is always that.